Hey everyone, and welcome back. You know, I'm always fascinated by this whole idea of luck, you know?
Yeah.
And is it really just chance or is there something more to it? So today we're taking a deep dive into the connection between brain function and luck.
Okay.
We've got some really interesting research lined up here,
Okay.
including a 40-year study that suggests luck might play an even bigger role in success than talent.
Really?
I know, right? It's kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's super interesting.
Yeah.
We often think of luck as just random chance,
Huh.
like winning the lottery, that's capital L luck, right?
Yeah.
But what about all those smaller oh luck moments in everyday life,
That's right.
like those unexpected opportunities or chance encounters? Could our brains actually be involved in those too?
That's a great question, and that's what I'm hoping we can explore today.
Yeah.
One of the articles we're looking at is called Can You Make Your Own Luck?
Okay.
And it examines the lives of some pretty incredible historical figures who overcame huge obstacles. It makes you wonder, was it really just luck that led them to success?
Right.
Or did they have a certain way of approaching challenges that made them more lucky?
Yeah, and what's fascinating is that while some might attribute their success to pure luck,
Uh-huh.
these individuals often had this remarkable ability to capitalize on opportunities that others might have missed.
Right.
It's like they knew how to turn setbacks into stepping stones.
Like they could see those opportunities that other people couldn't see, right?
Exactly. Dr. Christian Bush, who wrote the book The Science of Luck,
Sure.
calls this serendipity.
Serendipity.
Yeah, and he argues that it's not just random chance, but like an active mindset.
Okay, so wait, a serendipity mindset.
Yeah.
I never thought about it like that.
It's really about being prepared to spot and seize those opportunities when they appear.
So it's not just about waiting for good luck to strike. It's about being ready to grab it when it does.
Exactly.
But what does that actually look like? How do you even cultivate a serendipity mindset?
Well, think of your brain as a powerful antenna constantly scanning for signals of opportunity.
Oh,
That's the serendipity mindset in action.
interesting.
You're actively seeking out those hidden gems of potential in unexpected situations.
So it's about turning what seems like a setback into an opportunity.
Yeah. Bush describes it as both an art and a science,
Wow.
something we can develop with practice.
I love that analogy of the antenna. So how do we start fine-tuning our antenna to pick up on those lucky signals?
Well, one of the first brain hacks that Dr. Pillay suggests in his article
Right.
is the importance of taking chances.
That makes sense.
You can't win if you don't play the game right,
Right.
but it's not about taking just any risks. It's about putting yourself out there, being open to new experiences, stepping outside of your comfort zone.
That makes sense. The more we expose ourselves to new experiences, the more opportunities we have to stumble upon those lucky encounters.
Exactly.
It's like increasing our chances of being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, and you know what's even more intriguing?
What?
Dr. Pillay suggests that our subconscious brains might actually be guiding us towards these opportunities even before we're consciously aware of them.
Really?
Yeah, he calls it preemptive perception.
Preemptive perception.
It's a pretty interesting concept.
Yeah, so is that like having a gut feeling about something?
Exactly. Have you ever felt like you just knew you should go to a certain event or meet a certain person,
Oh, yeah, totally.
and it turned out to be an amazing opportunity?
Like that time I randomly decided to check out a new coffee shop
Uh-huh.
and ended up meeting someone who connected me with my dream job.
There you
At the time, I thought it was just a lucky coincidence.
go. Right.
But now I'm wondering if my subconscious was picking up on something I wasn't.
It's possible.
Tell me more about this preemptive perception, though.
Yeah.
How does that even work?
It's thought to be linked to the parietal lobe, the part of our brain that processes sensory information and spatial awareness.
Okay.
Imagine your brain has this built-in radar constantly scanning for things that align with your goals.
Wow. Even if you don't know what those goals are.
Even if you haven't consciously defined those goals yet.
Okay, so my mind is officially blown.
It's really fascinating stuff.
It's like our brain is constantly looking for opportunities, and our subconscious is nudging us towards them through those gut feelings or hunches.
Exactly.
So we shouldn't ignore those little whispers.
It's definitely worth paying attention to those subtle signals.
Yeah, they might be our brain's way of saying, hey, this could be lucky.
Yeah. Of course, it's not about blindly following every whim.
Right.
But developing that heightened sense of self-awareness and being open to those possibilities.
So trusting your instincts, even if you can't explain them.
Exactly.
Okay, so that makes me think about like those poker players who can read their opponents so well.
Right.
is that their subconscious and their parietal lobes working overtime,
You might be onto something.
picking up on those micro expressions and body language.
Dr. Pillay talks about the mirror neuron system, which is our brain's ability to mirror the intentions and emotions of others.
Okay. So these skilled poker players might be tapping into this system subconsciously,
Wow.
reading those subtle tells and maybe even influencing their opponent's emotions to their advantage.
Wait, hold on. Are you saying we can actually influence other people's emotions without them knowing it?
It's a fascinating area of research.
Just through our own subconscious cues?
Yeah.
That's kind of freaky, but also incredibly cool.
It suggests that our interactions are much more complex than we realize.
So much more is going on than we even realize, right?
Yeah, think about it. Have you ever been in a situation where you just clicked with someone instantly or felt like you could read their mind?
Oh, definitely. I've had those moments where I felt an instant connection with someone, like we were on the same wavelength.
That could be your mirror neuron system at work.
Now I'm wondering if it was more than just good vibes.
It's very possible.
Maybe our mirror neurons were having a party.
And the fascinating thing is this mirroring effect can work both ways.
Really?
Our own emotional states can influence others, even subconsciously. Wow.
So if you approach a situation with confidence and optimism,
Yeah.
others are more likely to unconsciously mirror those feelings.
So it's like creating a more positive and maybe even lucky outcome.
Exactly.
So it's not just about reading other people, it's about projecting our own positive energy to create a luckier environment for ourselves.
Precisely. And this brings us to another crucial element in the luck equation.
Okay.
Optimism.
Optimism.
Studies have shown that optimists are more likely to embrace situations with uncertain outcomes.
Oh, that makes sense.
This willingness to step into the unknown, to take calculated risks, naturally increases their chances of encountering those lucky breaks.
So optimism is like the fuel for this whole serendipity engine.
That's a great way to put it.
By being open to new experiences, trusting our intuition, and radiating positive energy, we're setting the stage for those lucky encounters.
Exactly. It's not just about positive thinking. It's about actively seeking out opportunities and being open to the unexpected twists and turns that life throws our way.
Wow, this has been so eye-opening already. We've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
Let's take a quick pause here, and when we come back,
Okay.
I want to dive deeper into the neuroscience of all this.
Sounds good.
How do these brain hacks actually work on a physiological level?
Yeah.
And are there any real-world examples of people who have successfully used these techniques to create their own luck? Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. It's pretty amazing to think that our brains, these complex organs we often take for granted, could actually hold the key to unlocking a whole world of opportunities.
I know, right? We've been talking about all these brain hacks and this serendipity mindset.
Right.
But I'm really curious, like, how does this stuff actually work on a physiological level? You know, what's going on in our brains?
Well, let's go back to that parietal lobe,
Okay.
that area of the brain we talked about earlier. It's involved in processing sensory information, spatial awareness,
Right.
attention, basically helping us understand our place in the world and how we interact with our surroundings.
Okay.
Researchers believe that this area plays a crucial role in that preemptive perception,
Okay.
that almost sixth sense that guides us towards opportunities.
So if I'm understanding this correctly,
Yeah.
our parietal lobe is like our internal GPS,
Yeah, you could say that.
constantly scanning the environment and guiding us toward destinations that align with our goals,
Exactly.
even if we don't consciously realize it.
It's like your brain has this incredible ability to filter out all the noise and highlight things that might be relevant to your deepest desires or aspirations, even if you haven't fully articulated them yourself.
So it's like that saying, chance favors the prepared mind.
Exactly.
If our parietal lobe is already primed for certain opportunities,
Right.
we're more likely to notice them and seize them when they pop up, right?
Absolutely. And that preparation goes beyond just having the right skills or knowledge.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
about cultivating that open, curious, and receptive mindset.
No.
That serendipity mindset that allows us to see possibilities where others might only see roadblocks.
Okay, so we've got our parietal lobe scanning for opportunities,
Yes.
our subconscious whispering, go for it.
Uh-huh.
But what about those times when luck seems to depend on other people?
Yeah.
Like you're at a networking event
Yeah.
and you bump into the perfect person
Right.
who can help you launch your project or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that our mirror neurons at work again?
It very well could be. Remember, our mirror neuron system allows us to pick up on those subtle cues in others,
Mm-hmm.
their facial expressions, body language, even their tone of voice.
Okay.
This unconscious reading of others
So we're picking up on all these subtle cues.
can help us navigate social situations, build rapport, and maybe even anticipate their actions.
So it's not just about mirroring their emotions, it's about understanding their intentions.
Right.
Almost like we're getting a glimpse into their minds.
Exactly.
No wonder some people seem to just effortlessly charm their way through life.
Yeah.
Making connections and landing opportunities that other people just completely miss.
And remember, this mirroring effect goes both ways.
Oh, really?
If you approach a situation with warmth, genuine interest, a positive attitude,
Okay.
others are more likely to respond in kind.
Oh, wow.
It's like you're creating a self-fulfilling prophecy
Interesting.
where your positive energy attracts positive outcomes.
So it's a two-way street.
Yeah.
We're not just passively mirroring.
Right.
We're actively influencing the emotional atmosphere.
Yes.
Creating a luckier environment for ourselves.
Precisely. And this brings us back to the importance of optimism.
Okay.
When we believe that good things are possible,
Uh-huh.
we're more likely to put ourselves out there, take those calculated risks, and connect with others.
Right.
This, in turn, increases our chances of encountering those serendipitous moments that we perceive as luck.
So in a way, optimism is like a magnet for good fortune.
Yeah, I could.
It's that energy that draws those lucky opportunities towards us.
That's a great way to think about it. Optimism fuels our willingness to take chances,
Uh-huh.
trust our intuition, and build those meaningful connections,
Yeah?
all of which contribute to creating those seemingly lucky moments in our lives.
But what about those times when things just don't go our way?
Right.
Does that mean we're just not lucky enough?
Not at all. Even when faced with setbacks or disappointments,
Right.
an optimistic mindset can help us reframe the situation,
Okay.
learn from our mistakes,
Wow.
and find new paths forward.
So it's not about avoiding failure. It's about how we respond to it.
Exactly.
It's about seeing those setbacks as opportunities for growth and learning.
Exactly. And that resilience, that ability to bounce back from challenges,
Right.
is a key characteristic of people who seem to create their own luck.
Okay.
They don't let setbacks define them. They use them as fuel to keep moving forward.
That's inspiring to think that we have more control over our luck than we often realize. But are there any concrete examples of people who have consciously used these brain hacks
Sure.
to achieve success?
There are countless examples. Think about entrepreneurs who have turned failures into stepping stones for their next big venture.
Oh, yeah.
Or artists who have embraced rejection as a catalyst for refining their craft.
Right.
Or even everyday people who have stumbled upon unexpected opportunities
Right.
by simply saying yes to something outside their comfort zone.
Yeah, that's so true. I'm starting to see luck in a whole new light.
Right.
It's not just about winning the lottery.
Right.
It's about recognizing and seizing those small everyday moments that can lead to something amazing.
And it's about cultivating the mindset and the skills to make the most of those moments when they arise.
Right.
It's about being open, curious, resilient, and optimistic.
This has been such a mind-expanding conversation. It's like we've been given this glimpse behind the curtain, you know,
It is
a
fascinating.
peek into the control room of our own destinies.
And the most empowering realization is that we're not just passive observers. We can actively participate in shaping our own luck.
We've talked a lot about how our brains can influence our luck.
Uh-huh.
But do you think it works the other way around?
That's a great question.
Can luck actually change our brains?
There's growing evidence to suggest that positive experiences,
Okay.
including those we might attribute to luck,
Uh-huh.
can actually rewire our brains,
Wow.
making us more optimistic, resilient, and open to future opportunities.
So it's like a positive feedback loop
Right.
where luck begets more luck by changing the structure of our brains.
It's a remarkable possibility, and one that really underscores the interconnectedness of our minds,
Wow.
our experiences, and the world around us.
This is mind-blowing stuff. I'm so curious to hear more about how luck might be shaping our brains.
Yeah.
But I think we'll have to save that conversation for another deep dive.
We're going to do a whole deep dive on that.
For now, let's wrap up this exploration of brain function and luck and leave our listeners with some final takeaways. Okay, so we're back, and wow, we've really been unpacking this whole idea of luck.
We have.
It's fascinating to think about, how much control we might actually have
Right.
over something that we often think of as completely random.
Exactly.
So let's recap a bit. We started this deep dive
Yeah.
with that 40-year study that found that luck actually plays a bigger role in success than talent.
Right.
And now, after exploring all this research, I'm starting to see how our brains can actually be primed for serendipity.
It's really about cultivating the right mindset and the skills to recognize and seize those lucky opportunities.
Yeah, it's not about controlling every outcome.
Right.
It's about being open to those possibilities
Yeah.
and knowing how to make the most of them when they come along.
Exactly.
We talked about the importance of taking chances,
Yes.
stepping outside our comfort zones,
Uh-huh.
trusting our intuition,
Right.
which might actually be our subconscious guiding us towards something great.
Those gut feelings can be powerful.
Yeah. And we can't forget about the power of optimism.
Absolutely.
Like that positive energy just draws more positive experiences and opportunities into our
It
lives.
creates a ripple effect.
It really does.
Okay.
It's like we're learning to speak the language of luck,
I like that.
understanding how our thoughts, our actions, and even our brain activity
Right.
can actually influence the course of our lives.
We're not just passive observers.
Right. We have agency.
We can actively shape our own luck.
I think one of the biggest takeaways from all of this
Yeah.
is that we have so much more power than we realize.
We do.
We might not be able to control every card we're dealt,
Right.
but we can learn to play the hand we're given with more skill and awareness.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to leave our listeners with one final thought-provoking question.
Okay.
What seemingly lucky event in your life could be reinterpreted as successful application of these brain hacks?
It's an interesting question to ponder.
Maybe it was a chance encounter that led to your dream job,
Right.
or an unexpected opportunity that arose from what seemed like a setback at the time.
It happens more often than we realize.
Were you unknowingly programming your own luck all along?
Take some time to reflect on your experiences and see if you can spot those moments
Yeah.
where your brain might have been working behind the scenes
Right.
to guide you towards those fortunate outcomes.
I think this deep dive has really opened my eyes to a whole new way of thinking about luck.
It's been a fascinating exploration.
And I feel like I'm walking away with a whole new toolkit for creating more serendipity in my life.
Remember, stay curious, stay open, and keep those brains buzzing.
Absolutely. And to all our listeners out there, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into brain function and luck.
Until next time.
We'll see you next time for another fascinating journey into the depths of knowledge and discovery.